Good morning, students. Students, in the previous class, I had shared few videos on the types of computers. I hope everyone has seen that. But yet, you might be having few doubts after reading this chapter also from your textbook. So I am reading this and explaining few of the things which where you might have been having doubts. So let's go through it. Your second chapter is types of computers. A computer is one of the most brilliant inventions of mankind. Using computers, we are able to speed up our daily work, carry out complex transactions, and achieve accuracy in work. So, what is computer? A computer is one of the most brilliant inventions of the mankind. Yes, well, you can imagine today's work a day without a computer? No, na. What you are using in your hand at present is also a kind of a computer, right? A palm top computer. So without a mobile, you cannot imagine your even a single day. So it is the most brilliant inventions. Now using computers, we are able to speed up our daily work, right? You can just you just witnessing right now that before 5 or 6 months, what we were doing, we were coming to school and having physical classes, but nowadays we are having virtual learning, we are having online classes. How is it possible? Because of these computers, right? So and the process is also speed up. Before this, you need to wake up early in the morning and get ready for the school, and all these time consuming things have been replaced by this computers, the online classes. Some of you might not be wearing your uniform also, yet you will be sitting in front of your computer and learning process goes on, right? So you have saved your time. By now you know about a computer, its history, and about various parts of computer. But do you know that for future for di- sorry but do you know that for different functions there are different types of computers? So it is not necessary that what computer you are using, the same computer will be using in ISRO, or also ISRO, you might be knowing, Indian Space Research Organization. They are also, we are using the same kind of computer. No, because they need a higher efficiency and higher work to be done, they'll be using different kind of computers, right? So for a different kind of work, different kinds of computers are used. So we'll see about these kinds of computer or different functions. Based on the different functions, the different types will be learning in this chapter. Fundamentally, there are two forms of computers. If we are talking about basic things about the computer, there are basically two types. That is analog computers and digital computers. And there is one more type, which is hybrid computers. What is hybrid? Hybrid means the two types of computer, the combination of two types of computer, the analog as well as the digital, both are combined with each other to make a hybrid computer. So hybrid computers are the combination of both digital and analog computers. The difference between an analog and digital computer is in the type of data they process. Now what is the difference between both of these kind of computer, analog and digital? That the data they are processing, we are inputting our data. Now the way in which they process is different in both these types of computers. Let's see about the analog computers. Analog computers represent data in terms of physical measures or quantities and process measured data. A speedometer in your car is a common type of analog device. Now, what the analog computers represent? They are representing data in terms of the physical measures. Yes, you are very well aware of the speedometer in your car or in your vehicle, any of your vehicle. The speedometer is there. What is that? It is an analog device. But nowadays, few of the vehicles have also got the digital speedometer also. So don't confuse between both of that. The one which showed the hand, the speed through a what to say, the one which showed the speed through an arrow, okay, that was an analog speedometer. So analog computers represent data in terms of the physical measures or quantities and process measured data, and these measured data they will be processing in the analog computer. What about the digital computers? In our everyday use, the term computer refers to digital computers only, with a typical example being the common personal computer. They are computers that you are using at your home. They are digital computers. In our everyday life, we are using that one. Digital computers are essentially simple machines that can understand only series of symbols, zeros and ones, trues or false. Okay, you had learned this in previous class. I think in fourth standard you have learned this, that digital computers are on binary digits. They are working on the binary digits. They are simple machines and they can understand only series of symbols, zeros and ones. Okay, either true, either this or that, nothing else. See here, this one, this figure shows the analog computer and this one is the digital computer. Okay, so appearance is also very much different. Sorry. Now a big difference that an analog computer's output can vary even if the input is identical. Now what is the big difference in an analog computer output? The input is identical. Input we are whatever input we are giving in digital computer and the same input we are giving in analog computer, but in analog computer the output that we'll get is different from that of a digital computer. A digital computer can be very precise. For instance, a gas pump might tell you that you pumped a 5 gallons of gas, but you could have gotten 4.99 gallons or 5.01 gallons. If you asked a digital computer to add 5 and 6 together, you will always get 11. By the way, a gas pump is actually a hybrid computer. Although it processes measured data, that is how much fluid has passed through the gas hose, but the data displayed to you, the amount of gas and how much you owe is in a digital format. So the gas pump we talked about is a kind of a hybrid computer, but in a digital computer you will get whatever answer, whatever output you will get will be in a digital format, that and with a high accuracy. 5 plus 6 is always 11 and 11 and 11. Well, in analog computer it may vary. Okay, but in a hybrid computer, what it is said, see, by the way, a gas pump is actually a hybrid computer. Although it processes measured data, that is how much fluid has passed through the gas hose, but the data displayed to you. So why is it a hybrid? Because it measures the how much gas is passed through the gas hose. It measures data in an analog way, but it is displaying it in a digital format. You can see when you are going to a gas pump, it is displayed on the screen in a digital format. So it is a hybrid computer. Now types of computers are classified according to how a particular computer functions. They differ in size, speed of operation and amount of data that can be stored in it. There are different types of computers: microcomputer, mainframe computer, mini computer, personal computer, desktop, handheld, laptop, supercomputers, and wearable computers. The most commonly used computers are mainframe computer, mini computer, and microcomputer. Okay, I don't think that there is anything, there would be any doubt in this paragraph. So moving ahead to a mainframe computer. In the early days of computing, mainframes were huge computers that could fill an entire room. As the size of the computers has reduced, the power of computing has increased. The mainframe has also become smaller in size and more efficient in performance. So before this, what were there? The mainframe computers were there before this also, but their size was very big, uh, and the size was that big that it would occupy the whole of your room. But gradually, as the technology developed, what happened is the size of the computer decreased, and now in a very small space you can have these mainframe computers. As the size of the computers has reduced, the power of computing has increased, and the computing power is also increased in the mainframe computer. So this has become smaller in size and more efficient in performance as compared to the previous technology computers. Their main features, what are the main features of the mainframe computers? They are: mainframes allow many users to work on the same machine at the same time. So you can see over here, it is a mainframe computer which is connected to a centerpiece, and it is allowing you many users to use the same computer at the same time. It can also handle huge amount of information and can perform complex mathematical operations. If you will give a huge mathematical operation, that 5 plus 2 plus 3 minus 6 divided by 13 plus 7 plus 9, okay, this much huge computation you are giving. If I am asking you to calculate it, you will take few minutes of an hour or so, but within a few seconds, this computer, not few seconds, within a blink of an eye, this computer can give you the result of these complicated calculations. Okay, so complex mathematical operations are performed in a very well, in a good way, and it can also handle huge amount of information. Whatever information you want, you can store in these computers, and you can rely on it. These computers are kept in air conditioned room as they are sensitive to variation in temperature and dust. You might be wondering that when you are going to a computer room, why AC is fixed over there? It is not for you all to chill over there, right? It is for the computers because they are very sensitive to the temperature and dust, and that is why you are also asked to remove shoes before entering your computer room. Programmers who work on mainframe computers are well trained for working on it, and the programmers who work on the mainframe computers are also well trained for working on it. You are not well trained yet, and that is why you are learning these computers, how to use it, so that when you will grow up, you will be well trained in using these mainframe computers. Several types of devices are connected to it for performing different tasks. These computers are generally used for commercial and industrial purposes. Commercial purpose means at your home, at school, and wherever you want, and as well as in the industries, these computers are generally used. And it is also connected with different with various devices to perform different tasks. As you want the printer also, you have made something and you want the printout of that particular file, then you will need to connect the printer to that mainframe computer. Similarly, if you want to listen to a song, you will need to connect a speaker to that mainframe computer, right? So several types of devices are also connected to it for performing different tasks. Now the mini computers. In terms of size and processing capacity, mini computers lie in between mainframes and microcomputers. Mini computers are also called mid-range systems. Now, mainframe computer and microcomputer means a very small computer. In between lies the mini computers, and they are also called the mid-range systems. Mini computers were introduced in 1960s. Main features of mini computers are: a mini computer is smaller and less powerful than a mainframe computer. So mini computers, what will the powerful, it would be less powerful and it will be smaller in size than the mainframe computer. Mini computers were characterized by limited hardware and software facilities and small physical size. And the physical size of the mini computers will be the name only suggests the mini computers, that means smaller than the mainframe computers. So the size also varies, as well as the device that needs to be connected in the mini computers also varies. You are not supposed to, so if you are talking about the laptop, as you can see in this picture also, here you need not to attach a speaker to the laptop as it is inbuilt in it, right? So you are not you need not to connect so many physical devices with the mini computers. Mini computers were characterized by limited hardware and software facilities and small physical size. Their low cost made them suitable for a wide variety of applications such as industrial control, where a small dedicated computer which is permanently assigned to one application is needed. In recent years, improvement in device technology have resulted in mini computers which are comparable in performance to large computers and greatly exceed the performance. Now the in nowadays what happens is the device technology is improving day by day, and it resulted the mini computers which are comparable in performance to large computers. Before this, what happened was the mini computers, the performance of the mini computers was not that much good as the mainframe computer, but as the technology is evolving day by day, the mini computers has came along in the line of the mainframe computers also. So the performance has exceeded, and they are also a low cost computer. That's why it is very widely used. You might have seen that nowadays in place of these mainframe computers, what people do is using they are using laptops. They are preferring laptops. Why? Because they can carry on from here to there wherever they want to for small work, right? And when we are talking about the microcomputers, the microcomputer is a personal or a desktop computer. They are most widely used computers. These computers are used extensively in the home for entertainment, communication, in all types of business, word processing, accounting, inventory control, research, etc. Now we are coming to the computers that you are using at your home. Now see children, it should be noted over here that when we are talking about the mini computers, I gave you the explanation about the laptops. Yes, the laptops are mini computers, but to an extent, when the difference between the mini computers and the microcomputers you will come to know now. Let me show you before that the images of the mini computers that were old, that were in I think in 1960s or so. And here you can computer, then also I'll get such images. Between the mini and microcomputers will be clear by now. Let's see. Uh, See here the last line. In recent years, improvements in device technology have resulted in mini computers which are comparable in performance to large computers and greatly exceed the performance. And these led to the development of a new generation of computers, new type of computers, sorry, as a microcomputers. Got it? Now, the microcomputers. The microcomputer is a personal or a desktop computer that you are using right now at your home. These are most widely used computers. These computers are used extensively in the home for entertainment, communication, in all types of business, word processing, accounting, inventory control, research, etc. You all are using computers, and you are all are well aware of all these things, right? A computer with a microprocessor and its central processing unit is known as a microcomputer. Now the microcomputer, the main thing is it has a central processing unit, a CPU, as well as a microprocessor. While in the mini computer, the microprocessor may not have been used. They were old computers, so some other technology, maybe the transistors were used in the mainframe computers. These computers are cheap and easy to use. These computers are easily available in the market also. They do not occupy space as much as the mainframes. You are well aware that the computer at your home are not that big that it will occupy the whole of your room. Okay, so they don't occupy much space as the mainframes. These computers can fit on a desk or table and serve as the best choice for single user task. only one person can use it at a time. Yes, two person cannot sit. If you want to do the same work, you both can sit together, two people can sit together, and one is doing the work, another can see. But both of you want, two peoples are there and they want to do different works, and it becomes not possible for this. So only one person can use it in a at a time. A keyboard, mouse, and a monitor, and a power supply, that is the UPS, come packaged in a microcomputer. Microcomputer consists of a keyboard, mouse, all these things should be there to use a microcomputer. These computers come in a variety of forms such as desktop, laptop, personal digital assistants, and so on. The software which are used with microcomputer are easily available in the market, and the software also, if you can, if you want to download Windows software, any of the Windows or new generation, that Windows 10, if you want to use it, presently you are using Windows 7, and if you want to upgrade it to Windows 10, you can easily download it from the internet and you can use it. Now the supercomputers, as you can see in the image, they are much bigger in size, and let's see what is the peculiarities of it. So supercomputers are extremely powerful computers. These means that supercomputers are the fastest and most expensive computer systems in the world. So supercomputers are the most expensive, as well as they are the fastest computer, not the fast but the fastest computers in the world. Supercomputers are huge computers with a large storage area, and it can store a huge amount of files, and it can perform, the performance is also very high, and it is extremely powerful. So in a if you want to use a supercomputer at your home, would you be able to use it? You need not to use it, first of all, because you don't need to do a very high level work or a performance. But these kind of computers are mainly used where you need a high performance, like in the space stations, or maybe in India, if you want to use, then we can use it in ISRO, or so, where the high performance work is needed. So supercomputers are huge computers with a large storage area. Supercomputers are used primarily for scientific and engineering work. As I had already said, it can be used in ISRO, where the Indian Space Research Organization, there we are using supercomputers right now, and these are for performing various engineering works also. As you can see that. Most of the machines we are developing, the mechanical engineers, they are developing so many things, right? So how they will be, they will not directly go on and yes, I want to develop this, and I will right on start doing the work for this. First of all, they will use a computer that is very high in performance, and then they will be able to prepare a blueprint of what kind of machine they want to develop, and then the physical work starts. So first of all, in the engineering work as well as in the scientific work also, the supercomputers are used. Unlike normal computers, supercomputers have more than one CPU, often functioning in parallel or simultaneously. And in normal computers, sorry, so in normal computers, or the computers that you have at your home, you can see that there is only one CPU. But in supercomputers, there can be more than one CPU. So, and this is why the performance has increased. Okay, and they are performing CPUs. Not they are. It is not like that all the CPUs are performing one by one. Okay, you have completed your work. Now I will do my work. No, it isn't that. These all the CPUs are connected together, and they are working simultaneously. All together, they are working. Supercomputers have huge storage capacity and very fast input-output capability. Many people can work together on a supercomputer. On a supercomputer, see, as you have seen in the personal computer, at the computer at your home, only one person can work at a time. While in supercomputers, many people can work at a time, and it has a huge storage capacity. They are very fast. Input also you can give it very fast, and at that much fast speed only they will give the output also. The input output capability is also very fast. Supercomputers can perform millions of arithmetic calculations per second. Supercomputers are widely used for weather forecasting, monitoring movements in space, air trafficking, and for different complex scientific calculations. You can see that supercomputers are widely used in where weather forecasting. You are many times you can see in the news. You in your school also, in our school also, in the morning news we used to give the weather report that today's weather report is so and so and so, right? So how you are going to get this for the weather forecasting? These supercomputers are used, and the monitoring movements in the space. From beforehand you come to know that today or day after tomorrow or maybe after a few months you will be able to see the shooting stars. Okay, so that also. Air trafficking for different complex scientific calculations also, you can use these supercomputers. Now what are the examples? Cray 1, Cray XMP, Param, etc. are few of the popular supercomputers in the world. These were some of the different types of computers available today. Looking at the looking at the rate of advancement in technology, we can definitely look forward to many more types of computers in the near future. So we have seen that from the mainframe to mini to micro to super, the technology has evolved, and there were so many different the technology is, but obviously it has evolved, right? Advanced, the technology has advanced. So definitely in the near future we will be able to see a different types of computers, more of the different types of computers who would have a very huge and a high performance. Now let's look over here. Param and Anurag are the supercomputers made in India. This here we saw about the supercomputers Cray 1, Cray XMP, Param, etc. So Cray 1 and Cray XMP, these are the supercomputers. They are developed maybe out of India, but Param and Anurag are the supercomputers. They are made in India. So you need to be proud of it. Okay. Let's see about the example and the cost, components and language that they are using in the mainframe computer. The examples are DEC 1090, UNIVAC 11060. These are the example of mainframe computer. Cost was in millions. So they were very costly, expensive. Components, all the components were there, and language, all the language they were using. Now coming to mini computer, the example is S32 PDP 1170. The cost again high in lakhs, so not all can afford those mini computers. The components were all, or language were also all. Now coming to microscope computer, that is HCL desktop, and so on. There are many more. Cost in thousands, in few thousands of rupees you can buy these microcomputers. The components are VDU, keyboard. VDU is what? Visual display unit. Keyboard, mouse, disk drives, printers, and so on. The language that these microcomputers are using are BASIC, COBOL, Fortran, C, C++, Java, and so on. Now the supercomputers, the example is Param 10,000. Okay, and also another one is Anurag, we just discussed about it. The cost is again in crores because it is a supercomputer. It has so many CPUs lined up. So but obvious the cost will also increase. The components has a wide variety of components are used over here, as well as languages also. All kind of language they are using. Only in microcomputers you are using this basic COBOL, Fortran, and C and C++ and so on languages. While supercomputers, all the languages are used. Okay. Okay, do you know what is it? Space shuttles are most advanced and complex machines ever made by human beings. They are the only vehicles to carry humans into space. Now the data capsule, that is a summary of this chapter. Let's go through it very fastly. Computer is an electronic device which is basically of two different forms that are, we have discussed already, analog and digital computers. Now hybrid computers are the combination of both digital and analog computers. These are the hybrid computers. The example we saw about the gas hose or the gas pump. Today's computer differs to digital computers, which are known as personal computer, PC, right? Different types of computers are micro, mainframe, mini, personal computer, desktop, handheld computer, laptop, supercomputers, and wearable computers. What are wearable computers? Anyone? oh, sorry. Wearable computers are the one that you are wearing. See, digital watches that you are wearing, what are they are wearable computers. Okay. The microcomputer is a personal computer. These are most widely used computers. These computers are used almost in every field. And supercomputers are extremely powerful computers, and these are the fastest and most expensive computer systems in the world. Hope you got all these things and cleared all your doubt. Thank you so much.